All right, we're going to do just a quick video here to go on the record again with another forecast about a show that's currently running. Lately, I've been watching WandaVision, and my prediction is that going into episode 8 of WandaVision, if you're unfamiliar with the show, every episode of WandaVision sort of emulates TV shows of prior decades. So, for instance, the first episode was kind of like the 50s, the second one was the 60s, so on and so forth. And my prediction is going into episode 8, which seems to be sitcoms, and that, more specifically, it's sitcoms. It's not just TV shows, it's sitcoms. Going into episode 8, the 2010s, they are going to very specifically emulate the show The Good Place. So we're going to spoil just a little bit about WandaVision up to episode 8, and a little bit about The Good Place if you haven't seen it. So for those of you unfamiliar, The Good Place in its first season ends with a really famous twist that kind of changes everything that happens, or excuse me, changes the way you interpret everything that happened in that first season. And the reason I think WandaVision might be going there is there's two storylines in WandaVision, one which I like a lot and one which I really have not been enjoying. And the one I've not been enjoying is about the people working for this government agency called SWORD, primarily because a lot of what was happening seems so wildly implausible. And I don't want to get too much into the details of it, of why I felt it was implausible. But I was just thinking recently that it reminded me of The Good Place, of how The Good Place kept spinning out of control and being increasingly implausible. But then you hit that twist, and all of a sudden, all of the implausible stuff makes a lot of sense. And I have a strong suspicion, here we are a couple days before episode 8 rolls out, that that's what's going to happen. Is there's going to be a twist a la The Good Place that will change the way we interpret everything that happened in the prior episodes. And one of the reasons why I want to go on the record here about this is that to some extent it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. Like that's the point I want to make about our forecasts here at Intensely Casual. When we make a forecast about a show, we're not doing it for the good of mankind. We're doing it to figure out, are we going to enjoy the show going forward or not? Determine whether or not we should stay with the show. Here, I've not been enjoying an aspect of WandaVision and having this realization that maybe they're going down this road where they've been setting up a twist. And if you've seen the end of episode 7, you know there's a little bit of a twist already. But maybe they're setting up a twist that will justify all of the implausible things that came before. And, I really hope that's the case. I will like the show better if it goes that way. Now, I'm not suggesting that I need to be vindicated here in order to enjoy the show. What I'm saying is that right now I'm not enjoying the show, but I'm hoping the thing that's annoyed me is actually setting up a really big payoff. And we'll see. I hesitate to even talk about a show while it's on because you hate to judge something that, you hate to judge a story when you're essentially halfway through it or even 3/4 of the way through it. You want to know how it ends because the end is, if it's not the most important part of a story, it is, top 3 for sure. So anyway, that is it. Just want to be on the record for this forecast that I believe WandaVision will lead to, I believe it's likely that WandaVision in its next episode will lead to a big Good Place style revelation, twist that will change how we interpret the events of the show. One other thing I want to point out is I did Google this before I started recording. I did see somebody on Reddit talking about how they were hoping WandaVision was going to the Good Place and that like Wanda would be Eleanor and Vision would be Chidi. That could also all happen. That's not what I'm getting at, though. I'm very specifically predicting a twist that completely, and to some extent, in episode 7, they've hinted like the twist is already starting. But what I'm suggesting is that it's not just gonna be what we saw at the end of episode 7. That our interpretation of everything that has happened inside the hex and outside of the hex will completely change. Our view of characters and their motivations will completely change. Our view of the events that actually happen will completely change as a result of the twist. That's my forecast. I hope it happens, and if that doesn't happen, something else to sort of solve my issue with the some of the elements of the sword plotline that I've just kind of found to be hard to believe, that I find keep engaging my disbelief. All right, sign off from here. This is Logan at Intensely Casual, and enjoy your stories.